Hello, my name is Ekow Duker, and I'm one of the co-founders of Zindi. We've all heard about the lack of representation in AI, and Africa is no different. But what you may not know is that there are African women who are doing really amazing things in this field. I'm really privileged to have with me today Reem, Sokhar, Amina, and Rose, four amazing women who are doing great work in this field. So we're going to hear about their stories and their journeys. So here we go. African women rocking data science. Sokhar, how was your journey to this space?
So I was first doing applied mathematics and computer science. And there was a time where I have to choose between computer science and mathematics. So I couldn't choose because I really liked the two of them. So I didn't know what to do. I was lucky enough that there was applied mathematics and computer science, and I go for that. And I was always saying, no, I need to do something applied. I don't want to do really theoretical stuff every time. So I get to know more about statistics, right? And then I had a friend of mine who was at EMS doing big data. So I got interested into that. So I need to know, I do this master of big data. So I went for the big data master at EMS Senegal, and then it was more like big data, not really machine learning. So when I went to that, after I got a job, I started working. So, and I had the opportunity for AMI, African Master of Machine Intelligence. I need to go. People were saying, how can you leave your job and go for school? Are you crazy? So I was confused. I didn't know what to do. But I was really interested to machine learning. I knew that I need to go for it. So I leave my job and I go for machine learning in Ghana. Last year I was in Ghana. So that's where I really got to machine learning and data science really. And then actually I'm working as a machine learning engineer, and yeah, it was kind of really interesting for me, and I was happy that I get to there because it was something I really wanted to do.
And I'm glad you got. It sounds like you got some. Sounds like you got some good training in Ghana, and I'm pleased to hear that because I'm from Ghana myself.
Okay.
It's really great. What? How was your journey like? And how did you get to the science?
Yeah, so I graduated with computer and information systems degree. Then after that, I worked in a company as a software engineer and left for school. And at that time, I was a student at African Institute for Mathematical Sciences in South Africa. And I remember we had multiple courses covering different physics, computer science, as well as mathematics concepts. And we had one course that is called data analytics, which covers like the three aspects of data science, starting from statistics, covering also part of big data and how to work with it, as well as machine learning. And I got very interested in the machine learning field because when I searched about it, I found that it can get into or can be applied into very different disciplines or fields. Like, for example, it can be applied in, like now what we're doing at Ether, working with satellite imagery data. It can be applied in medical field, engineering, banking, anywhere where we can find data, then we can work with machine learning to solve its problems, if it's applicable, of course. Then after that, I joined Stellenbosch University in South Africa as a researcher in machine learning. So I was actually very lucky to meet different people who are in the field, which got me more interested in learning about data science in general and machine learning specifically. So yeah, and I'm currently working as a machine learning engineer. And I have to say that I was unemployed for quite a long time before I got this position. I was like working as a freelancer for like 6 to 7 months. And I was confident that I will get an opportunity in the field because the field is just starting or it's still growing here in Sudan. So I was giving myself the benefit of having like that background and wanting it to apply in Sudan. So I found that quite difficult, but I'm glad that I got to this position. I stick to it. I'm actually very happy now.
Oh, that's great. I'm hearing a common theme. I'm hearing that you all started not knowing what the field was about. I'm also sensing a great deal of resilience and a great deal of determination to keep going. something one often hears is that women have to work twice as hard as men for the same recognition. What are some of the challenges you might have experienced since you started? And I see a smiling, Rose. Does that resonate with you? Have you had a challenge that was, in hindsight, directly related to the fact that you're a woman in what is for now still largely a male-dominated field?
Since I've been a woman in tech, maybe not in data science, but in software engineering, you would find people don't believe what you do. Like they might doubt the quality of your code simply because you're a woman. So I had seen other ladies in the company I was working for going through the same challenges. And then one thing I learned to do for myself, I wouldn't entertain such comments. So we are here to work. I'm here to code as you guys, and I'm here to deliver a good quality job. Because as women, if you keep entertaining such comments, then you'll be given the lesser work, like doing the documentation. But you need to do the main work so that you can also learn. So my advice to people, don't entertain such comments. Let people know you can also do as much as they can do.
Right. Does anybody else have a similar experience, or maybe a different one?
Yeah, so for me, it's not I haven't really faced challenges from others. Rather, I think the challenge probably is self-imposed, like an imposter syndrome. Because anytime I try to do something and I notice, like, most times I always find myself in a scenario where I'm the only lady there, so I have a bunch of guys, and then it makes me kind of lose confidence. But I always try to tell myself I can do it. So at first there's a bit of a shake, like, oh my god, so, I'm the only lady here, I'm going to feel, like a self-imposed stuff. But as for challenges, being a woman coming from outside, I haven't really faced that yet. Yeah, I've rather had encouragement from those around me. So I've been surrounded with people who always push me, even when I don't want to do something. They always push me and tell me I can do it and believe in my abilities, even when I can't, even when I don't think I can do it. So the challenges for me comes from myself, and I keep trying to work on that and push through with my journey.
Now that's interesting. And how do you deal with that, Sokhar? And I'm sure as leading the data science function at your organization, probably similar to Amina, you've had situations or occasions where you are the only woman in the room. How do you deal with that, and how do people respond to you?
Yeah, exactly. I have a similar story like Amina, and sometimes only the way people will look at you, you feel like, am I really at the right place? Because people will feel like, are you a normal woman? Because I have never seen maybe a woman doing something similar to you. Why are you always like trying to be strong like men? You are always, because I'm someone who like to be. Maybe sometimes I'm the only one at the office doing my stuff, always on my laptop. They will say me, okay, you're going to marry your laptop because you're always with your laptop. So they will look at you like you are not a normal woman, because they are not used to see someone like this. And you may feel sometime, yes, you may lose your confidence, but machine learning or data science is so passionate that always you will get force from what you're doing. If you run your code, everything is fine. Your model is doing well. You are happy. You are so happy that you get more like strong, and then you feel like, yes, I need to go further. So this is it, but it's actually not easy because of the way people will look at you. You may feel sometime like I don't know, but it's actually, you will get also some people will support you, because they will get, maybe they are sometimes even jealous about you, and then you see, so they will support you, they will give you more force to go further. Yeah.
No, I'm actually blown away, and I'm feeling very privileged to listen to your stories. And I must turn to you, Reem. The African continent, as we all know, is highly patriarchal, and I've never been to Sudan, but from what I've read about Sudan, it's perhaps a more patriarchal society than most. So how have you coped in dealing with men and and the men perhaps not acknowledging what you can do?
Well, I'm not sure about the comparison between Sudan and the rest of the countries in Africa and how is the patriarchy affects people's life. But yeah, I can tell you that, yeah, there are different types of microaggression that women experience. But for me personally, what I see is that the community expects you to do certain things and expect you at certain age, maybe to after you graduate, you work from 8 to 4 or 7 to 3, and then after that, after you've worked and you graduated, now it's time to get married. So it's very these days, actually, it's more common to find many ladies are working, not specifically in the tech field, but in all other fields. I can tell you that from my experience here in Khartoum, I was lucky to come from a working family. I have very strong mother who supported me all the way along, even though sometimes when I'm in a very not clear way or in a hesitation position, she will always have my back, which not all females in my age get. I was actually very lucky to get that support from her and from my family, like as well. What I can tell you is that what I see is many guys, when we're dividing maybe tasks, they will be like, oh, can you do this? Or maybe when you suggest something, and then they will be like manipulating, oh, can this be done? Or can you do it? And then you'll be like, if someone else maybe would say, maybe, I don't know, I need to take time. But for me, I feel like I'm more confident, even though sometimes I would have like fear in myself, because that question on itself is a kind of attack. I feel it's like more of attack than anything else. So I'd be like, yes, I can do that while you're asking me. So yeah, I'm just like reflecting the question back. So I feel like that gets me out of most of the awkward situations. And also sometimes you need to be like confident, even if you're experiencing like imposter. I don't know, that's it.
No, that's great. So you touched on something that, which I think is important, which is the support of family. And you mentioned that your mother's strong and she supported you. Did anyone else looking back, would you be able to point to the support of your family in this journey, and how important was that?
Yeah, from me, it was actually my dad, and
Your dad, right?
He was impressed that I'm doing mathematics, because he was not really good at mathematics when he was a student. So he was saying, how come you are good at mathematics? I don't understand. So, he was always pushing me up. When I was at high school, I was supposed to be the only lady in the class doing mathematics. So I was kind of, should I go for it? I don't know. But then he went to school. He realized that I was running away from that class because I'm the only lady. And he came back at home, called me, start talking. Why are you going to run up? You can do it. If you are selected, it's because you can do it. So he was always pushing me up. Yes, go for it. So if I'm actually doing mathematics, actually it's because of him. I was going to run away. So yeah, I got that support from my dad. And my mom also, she doesn't want me to do anything at home. Just go and learn. You don't have to do anything. So this is sometimes some stuff that really help women when they are doing science or they are doing something which is not common. And it's actually, it means a lot. Yeah.
Right. Wow. Well, I saw you nodding there, Rose. Did you want to add anything?
I think my parents have been my greatest achievement, because for the confidence and being able to stand for myself, I got that from them, because we were all raised to be independent. Like in our family, there were no gender roles, that if it's the day for my brother to cook, he would go and cook. So you find in most African homes that women are told to do certain things. And that's why when even they go to school, they don't do the sciences. They're settling on social sciences, history, and other fields. But I think like raising kids to know that they can also do anything, that was my greatest achievement from my parents.
Oh, that's truly amazing. Let's move on and talk about there's an argument that says that to the extent that data science and AI are not inclusive, then we all lose out. So society as a whole loses out. What has been your experience of that, of where the field or your work or your exposure or your colleagues aren't inclusive to the extent that they should be? Do you find that, or have you found that that compromises the quality of the solutions or the quality of the work? Would anybody like to comment on that?
So I would
Yes.
just share a personal opinion. So I think it's important because there are certain problems we want to solve with data science that only a woman understands, because that problem is particular to gender. Like let's say in health, for example, let's say we're trying to build a health based solution, which in that particular case, the problem is mostly affected by the female gender, and we want to build a solution for that problem. There's no way a man will understand clearly how it affects the woman, because to be able to solve the problem, you need to clearly understand the problem and then be able to build a solution for that problem. So I think inclusivity is very important, because not only do ladies, there's, I don't know, but I feel like there's a way female think about a particular problem that it's a bit different from the male gender. So if we're building a solution for the female gender, we need female data scientists in that team. So this is my opinion. So if we have inclusivity when we're trying to build certain solutions to a particular problem, it helps, because then we have like a proper understanding of the problem, and then we're able to build efficient solutions for that problem. So this is my opinion.
No, great. So you touched on something there that that I'd like to explore a little bit. So you mentioned that women think about problems in a different way to men. Would anyone like to expand on that? How do women, what do women bring to a problem that perhaps men don't? So what is the difference in their problem solving approach? Yeah, Reem.
Yes. So from my experience, I'm still beginner at this position, but I can say that what I notice is that my male colleagues tend to sometimes overthink a problem, or maybe deviate from the main goal. So they need someone to tell them every time and remind them, hey, this is not what we want to do. That's our target, and we need to move forward to that specific target. So, sometimes when you're working in data science, you would love to explore many factors that could affect the final product or the final output, yet you have a very limited time and resources to use to do so. So in that sense, being on the track or keeping everyone on the track, I could see that my female colleagues and I will always try to get everyone back on the track. This is the first thing. Secondly, I was also noticing that, or I am actually noticing that we all try to focus on very small details, or maybe think ahead of what we are expecting to have, and maybe try to solve any expected problem that could happen in the future. So in that way, we could prevent the problems before it happens. So I see that it's a feature that joined the two different traits. You need to think ahead, and also you need to be considerate of what your target is.
Right. So I'm hearing that in your experience, women bring a pragmatism to the problem solving, and that you keep the team on track. I'd like to turn to Sokhar now. So for the data scientists in your team, the data scientists that you manage, do you find that you have to manage the men in a different way from the women?
Yes, actually, yes. Men and women, they always have different way of thinking. I think this is natural, right? This is natural, and actually, mostly women are good at bringing idea. And like, even if you go at home, you will see that if men are stuck, they don't know where to go. They always need to get back to women, ask for ideas. What do I do? And mostly they bring like very great idea. This is natural. It's not something that maybe we learn from somewhere. but it's not true for women. So yes, normally always you have to manage women and men in a different way, because like walking between women is different from walking a woman and a man. Okay, why I'm saying that is that sometimes between women it can be complicated, because always we have idea, everyone has an idea, and she may think that my idea is better than yours, you know. Sometimes it can be but if it's between men and women, it's actually more easy, because they always, mostly they have confidence for the idea that women brings. They always have confidence about that. They always agree with your idea, and this make you like more like, okay, this is more easy, and you know, yeah.
Hmm. So we've spoken about your journey. We've spoken about the challenges you faced. We've spoken about how men and women approach problem solving in perhaps a different way, and the traits that women tend to bring to the problem solving arena. And I'd like to ask, so looking back at what you've done and how you've been supported or not, and the challenges you faced, what advice would you give to a young woman who is watching this? Or rather, what advice would you give to your younger self?
I think how to deal with imposter syndrome, because when you start the journey, you're a bit afraid. So my first experience with competition was cargo system, and at the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't belong here. You don't want to be number last. Like, you're so afraid to try it out that you end up losing it. And sometimes you're surprised when you try it out. That's when you gauge yourself, and then you can find mentors who can mentor you in this field. So I mentored some few ladies in the last mentorship, and I noticed the same. When they're starting, they're afraid. There's one lady I had to force to post the submission on the leaderboard, because I was asking, why don't you want to post? And they're like, I don't want to be number last. I'm like, that is the only way we can get where you're at, so that we can advise you on how to move forward. And I was surprised when she did post it, she was number 3. So, and I was like, you are so much afraid that you don't see the benefit of doing something. So I think not being too afraid, just try it out. And then from there, you can gauge yourself on how you can get help from anyone.
That is amazing. And I saw the others not. I saw the others not nodding their heads.
I agree with Rose. Imposter syndrome is something that we experience. But for me, I think I would tell myself that I don't have to be afraid or to cling on certain positions or certain things that I might think I'm not going to have something better than this. I would tell myself to move from the places that I'm not comfortable in, because many other opportunities, much more than I can imagine, are waiting for me. And also, of course, this has to be like given like a certain conditions and situations, but yeah, I would tell myself to move on from anything that tries to let me down or to put my energy down. I'm good as I am, and I can find something that is good enough for me. Maybe not perfect, but good enough.
And I'd really love to hear from Amina as well. So what advice would you give to the younger you?
Rose and Reem have said it all. Don't be scared of trying. Don't be scared of failing. And for me, a particular thing, don't be scared of asking for help. That I noticed like that is one problem I have. When I started, I always feel scared to ask for help when I need it, because I always thought, nah, it's a dumb question to ask. People are going to think you're dumb or stupid. Why would you ask that? I had a lot of questions in my head I wanted to ask, like, why is this way? Why do we have to do it this way? But I was always scared of asking, because I thought people are going to think she's so dumb, she doesn't know. So and sometimes when I finally ask the questions and the response I get, like, wow, how did you think about that? Like, that is that's a very interesting, that's a very good question. And then I ask myself, why didn't I ask this before? And so I think that is one very, very key thing. Also, don't be scared of asking for help. Even if you don't get it, ask someone else. There are a whole lot of people out there ready to support and help you. So yeah.
Yeah, so after being confident about themselves, I will tell them to try to find mentors, try to find mentors and listen to people's story, because you may find someone who has a similar story to you, and then you will feel like, okay, if these people did it, I can also do it. So I think I didn't have the chance to have a mentor at my beginning, but I think right now people are building more mentorship program. They are trying to help the younger people. So I think they need to make benefit of that, and then try to really listen to people's story. It may really help. I think after my if I went when I started being interesting on people's story, I find a lot of people who had a similar story to me. If I listened to them before, maybe I may get more, I may be more strong, and then I just want to tell them to find mentors and then listen to people's story. It may be helpful.
Sure, thank you very much. So you've certainly shared your stories. You certainly shared your stories today. So we're talking about African women rocking data science. And just as we come to the close, my final question is a bit of a wish list. So if you had a magic wand or you had a super powerful deep learning model, what would you ask it to do? And I'll start with you, Reem.
Actually, I was thinking about this earlier, and we were actually talking about this with my colleagues 2 days ago. If we have this super machine learning model, we will ask it to solve the problems of corruption, because that what leads to many other problems, including wars. So we can tell you, we can say that if we try to solve corruption, then maybe more structured economical techniques will appear on the surface. Then more solutions can be found. Then this difference between the not the layers, but like the levels where people live actually becomes closer. And then when we have that small gap, everyone will be happy. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
And Sokhar, how about you?
Yeah, so if I had a super deep learning model, I will just ask him to solve the problem of equal opportunity. So what I mean is everyone should have the same opportunity to success. So actually some people are facing a lot of difficulty to success because they don't have the equal opportunity than some people they have, and they are really intelligent. They can go like for everything they want for, but they don't have the opportunity. So I will just ask them to give the equal opportunity to everyone, men and women, children, and all the people, so that everyone can really go for what he wants to do.
Great. And Rose?
My wish list is long, and I guess I'm adding corruption to that list because corruption is not only in Sudan, it's also in other African countries like Kenya, and it's the root of so many problems. But my number one wish list was, I wouldn't like for a company like Zindi or any other company to go through ransomware. Like, attackers have become so sophisticated. So if I would have a deep learning model that detects any type of attack before it happens to any company, because the results are sometimes devastating. So that is my number one. The next one is farming in Kenya or in Africa. Like, you find farming is the best source of income for many people in such countries. But if we were able to do some deep learning models that improves our way of farming, then we'd be helping so many people in so many ways. So the third one is in reproductive health. I've noticed in Kenya, like, women don't go and seek about reproductive health. So I don't know, it's about privacy per se, but if we had like a deep learning model that it's like a friend to you, you chat with it, and then it keeps tracks of how your life is moving, that would be also helpful for us.
Thank you so much. Cool, but thank you so much. It's been really great speaking to you all. I'm feeling a bit embarrassed at the moment because I was going to ask my deep learning model to get me a new car, but it's been great listening to you. So thank you very much to Sokhar, to Amina, to Rose, and to Reem. You saw them here first, and they're going to be blazing a trail in the data science field across the African continent. These are the African women who are rocking data science, and you'll be able to meet them in the speakers lounge for the Q&A. But thank you very much. It's been amazing, and I'm hugely privileged to have been able to listen to you. So thank you so much.